It's February 3rd. This is All Astrology. I'm going to be talking about Mercury going into Pisces. Dreamy, idealistic, feel good Pisces. I'm also going to discuss the Mars that goes out of bounds. I want to add clarity to the Mercury going through her retrograde, same time while the Mars is out of bounds, and what exactly that will mean. And I want to break it down per sign. So we're going to start off right here, right now. Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising. Third, Neptune has been in your sign for the last 7 years. Pisces on your ascendant, it's all about your appearance, it's your health and your vitality. It is your physical body. With Pisces there, in the last 7 years, how's your health been? Because having Pisces there and Neptune transiting through it, first of all, when you have a Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising, you're less grounded. And when we're less grounded, because we live in the 3D earth realm, right? The earthiness, the physicalness, it is actually a better thing if you have lots of planets in either, like Taurus, if you have planets in Scorpio, that will actually send sextiles to your ascendant, to your physical body, to your Pisces rising. Helps you to be more grounded because Pisces is all about the non-tangible world. So what does that mean? How does that look? How does that feel to be this spiritual being in a physical vehicle? Literally, right? When we say, oh, I'm a spiritual being, having a metaphysical experience in the physical realm, that is Pisces on the ascendant. But how does this gonna break it down? How's this gonna look now that you've got Neptune, which has been there for 7 years? So it's literally been dissolving a lot of your 3D world, the tangible world. Neptune being there, Neptune, first of all, dissolves the ego. It dissolves things in general. Not so much our beliefs, but our perceptions of things. We are very dreamy and idealistic. Hollywood, that's a Piscean, a Neptune ruled thing, because it's all about the movies and what we wish things would be like, right? How we idealistically want to live, how we idealistically want to love. All the things that we can encompass in our world of dreams, our fantasies. This is Piscean energy. Having Neptune there adds to that. It tests it. It really puts it to a test because it tests your physical realm, your physical being, your body, your health and well-being. It also is going to test physical things in your life. So on the opposite side of your ascendant is your relationships, right? Having Neptune there, depending upon the degree, right now Neptune is at 16 going on 17 degrees of Pisces. So if you have your descendant or your ascendant near those degrees, life has probably been in a little bit of a confusion, a little bit cloudy, foggy, hard to really grab a hold of anything real and tangible, almost to the degree where you get something, it kind of slips away. Because this is what Neptune does. It says, did you really have it to begin with? You thought you had something, but did you actually have it? Because it clouds our perceptions. It clouds our eyes, our visions. That is Neptune. That is Pisces energy. The cat is really talking this up and supporting my illusion, delusion, and really blocking our vision right now. So let's go into Mercury being now also in Pisces. Okay, so if it's on your ascendant, this is in your first house. Our perception, how the world views us. It's the cover of the book. It is our outward appearance, what we project onto the world. When Mercury gets there, there may be clouded visions, self-visions. People also at that time in our life may not be sure about who we are because of the way that we're thinking and we're communicating. First of all, Mercury's going to stop. She's going to stand still. Okay. What happens is because she's standing still in the murky waters, there might be moments where we are even more confused. And this would be sinking in your ability to see clearly, sinking in other people and them being able to see you clearly, getting a good grasp. Some people are like these, they're hard to get a hold of. They're hard to really understand. They're hard to grasp and to really feel that you have this, like there's no resonating anything on any layer or any degrees. It's like, I'm really confused by them. They escape me. Pisces is all about escaping. If you have Mercury there might be this time where we want to escape more, right? Because our thoughts are going to be more elusive. They're going to be more non-tangible. So for some folks, this may be very difficult, depending upon how it's squaring, how it is either squaring or trining or sextiling other placements. If you're new here, just punch in your birth data and I can find out how's this going to look for you. Is it going to square anything for you personally in your life? And what should you be aware of? But while she's going backwards for Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising in particular, because this is on your ascendant, it will be factored in strongly when Mars is doing its out of bounds activity. Let me give you some dates. Mars goes out of bounds. I have another video that talks about it, but it's not specifically for Pisces rising, so I'm going to tie it in for you guys so that there's some clarity here. I got a lot of questions, and I apologize for those videos just kind of making things seem more confusing, but that's how February is. So when I'm talking about the energy and it's like bam, 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 you know, it's like, yeah, it's going to be kind of like that. We're going to have information because it's in Pisces. It's not, there's a lot of information. We don't have all the details. A lot of the details are covered up. And then Mercury's going to have to go backwards. She's going to have to go and retrieve, or he's going to have to go retrieve information. And he's going to have to go all the way back to 28 degrees Aquarius. And when he gets all the way back to 28 degrees Aquarius, that's when he literally picks up some information that was left behind and then can bring it forward into Pisces and said, hey, this is what was missing. Mars comes into play here because between the dates of February 9th to March 3rd, Mars goes out of bounds. Now, Mars is already our assertions, where we can go from 0 to 10 in seconds because it's something we're passionate about, something we will stand up for. It's an area of our life where we just will not back down. We go forward, actually. Where is Mars in your chart? When you can find your natal Mars, that gives you more details as to how the transiting Mars acts and what he's most passionate about, like what he's going to be ticked off and triggered about. February 9th to March 3rd at 25 degrees Sagittarius is where the transiting Mars is. So it is at this time in this area of your chart, wherever Sag is at 25 degrees, between 25 degrees Sag and 10 degrees Capricorn, is exactly the points where Mars is more imbalanced. He is more over the top, okay? He is more quickly going to go from 0 to 10 in less than a snap of a finger. Now, luckily for us, without me going into too many details, he's out of bounds, but he's not like over the hill dynamite out of bounds. But the reason it's a factor is because it's during a murky time in our thoughts and in our thinking. Like I know I've already been feeling it. The closer Mercury at the 29 degrees of Aquarius and then dipping literally into Piscean energy today, I'm already like, okay, I went out of that room and I went into that room and I went into that room for a reason and I don't know why I went into that room. You know, it's crap like that. So you got to walk back, you know, re-enter, you know, this portal sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, all of a sudden you have this memory and you're like, oh, that's why I went and did that. So let me focus a little bit for the Pisceans listening. All right. For the Pisceans listening, when you get to February 14th, 15th, and 16th, I want you to be very aware because this is going to be in your first house, but follow the degrees because this might be in your 12th house depending upon how many degrees of Pisces are literally, you know, we all have these charts that we look at. Some of us have these charts that you might call a perfect chart where a whole sign is within a whole house and it's not split. But I have a lot of people listening who I know where their signs are divided between the houses. All that means is listen to the degrees, okay? So when I say Mercury at 13 degrees, find out where that's at. That could be in your first house. That could be in your 12th house. If it's your first house, then that's me. That's my physical body. That's what I appear to be to the world. Now, if it's in your 12th house, that's a little bit more of a mystery. All right, you are Pisces and you've got energetic. Pisces is at home, first of all, in the 12th house. It's not at home in the first house. Pisces in the 12th house is comfortable because it is this non-tangible energy operating in a non-tangible house. So it does really well there. You feel very genuine there. In general, if all your houses line up in the rulership homes, right? If all the signs line up in the houses of the rulership, these are people who, when you meet them, they feel very real. They feel very genuine. They feel as though they are who they appear to be, okay? Because they have a lot of the natural rulerships within their natural houses. So there's no watering down of energies. They feel very authentic, okay? Having Mercury in your 12th house, all right, this would be thinking about things that are in the non-physical world. Spirit, connecting with spirit, hearing spirit, speaking to that, you know, this is a great house for people who are, you know, in the praying mode. right? A house of then holy people. This is the 12th house, okay? So if you've got Mercury there, then that's what's on your mind. That's where your thoughts are basically focused on for this time. It's also like movies, things of how you can escape the mental 3D, physical, tangible world, all right? So in other words, you could be very artistic and it could be very musical, sound, okay? There could be the great placement for somebody who's a writer, fantasy writers, science fiction writers, poetry. This is wonderful energy for that. And it's not a coincidence. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine had just made a post on Facebook this morning and I was reading a poem, literally posting a poem. But is it a coincidence that they posted it on the day that Mercury enters Neptune? No, it's the house of the writer, right? And they said, oh, I used to love writing poetry. I hadn't done that in so long. And here they were literally posting it for others to read. Poetry is very private stuff, people, right? It's the house, the 12th house. It's, you know, it's your deepest, darkest, hidden stuff that you're not even aware of, let alone other people in your life. And so when somebody is in that mode where they're going deep and they're writing about it and they're willing to share it, it's like, it's pretty profound. So Mercury there is going to be focused on all these non-physical things. So whatever you can think of by means of escape from the 3D world, does it mean that you're trying to escape necessarily from your problems? It could be. But it could also just be, I have this other idea of how things should be. I have other ideas of how my life should be, or my dreams, right? Things I dream about. I really want to spend time, you know, there's that child, that little kid where they seem very daydreamy-ish. Their Mercury could very well have been in Pisces, right, in their 12th house. Or their Mercury could have been in Pisces anywhere in their chart because their thoughts are very dreamlike. So they walk around in a daydream. These are all different ways it could look. This was just to give you an example for these Pisces ascendant, Pisces risings of what could be going on when you've got Mercury traveling through your 12th house in Pisces. Because of the fact that Neptune has been in Pisces for 7 years and will be there for at least 7 more years, this is all enhanced even more. It's a real test of our clear thinking, a real test of our clear seeing. Now, we all know somebody in our life or in the world just by reading social media, just by, you know, reading posts and blah, blah, blah. We know we have seen clear indications where people are taking, it's not even so much of a optimistic or an idealistic view, it is outright unrealistic. It is a refusal to see reality. I'm taking a stand where I'm ignoring facts that are being presented, you know? And so we see this happening, and this is because Neptune is in Pisces. This is Neptune's job, because we are all in this testing phase where our ability to be those things is really at the highest point of hey, can you think independently for yourself? Can you dig and find out what truth is? Now, if you're Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising, your thoughts, okay, could be more along the daydreamy stuff, especially pertaining to self. Thoughts about yourself. So thoughts about your appearance. You might be looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, damn, I haven't gained that much weight. Because God knows I've been having those thoughts. And it's like, dude, you've been gaining a lot of weight. And on the other flip side, I'm like, holy shit, has it been that much? You know, all of a sudden from one day or from 1 hour to the next, it's like, holy crap, you know, you get like these reality bursts. And then there may be also things about, okay, I don't feel so good, but I'm really not that sick. You see what I'm saying? It's like we have these idealistic views of, okay, I've been sick, but I know I'm going to get better. Or I'm better than I really am, right? It can go to many different extremes. But just remember, it's a matter of your thoughts being clouded and reality being blocked. Luckily, it's actually a good thing, in a way, that Mercury goes through a retrograde. But typically what happens is because Mercury controls not just our thinking and our thoughts, it does control our short journeys and our trips. It does control our electronics and technology, the ways in which we can communicate. So that would be social media and internet. So that's not so fun because it has the ability to literally, you'll have something on the screen and all of a sudden it's just gone. This is part of Mercury retrograde. Unfortunately for me, this is all in my 11th house. And I'm just putting this out there right now where stuff I'm in the middle of just disappears. It's just automatically gone. So this will add to delays in producing work on this platform. And I just got to say it because it's the truth and it's, you know, It's a reality that I'm trying to anticipate and to have a little bit more patience for. My Pisces is in my 11th house. This is the house of the astrologer. This is the house of the internet, okay? And well, this is what I'm doing, astrology on the internet. So slow downs is what it means. And expect for things to take longer. Mercury, all about thoughts of self. So keep that in mind. If other people are saying things to you, if you're having conversations with others and they're maybe checking you on things, or they're making accusations, or they're just making statements and they feel hurtful to you, because if you have Mercury in Pisces, Pisces is extremely sensitive. Think about that. So there might be things that others say at this time where they might feel not so nice, and they might be saying things that are true, but you may not want to hear these things. So what we do during a Mercury retrograde, and during Mercury in Pisces, I should say, is we understand that we're just not seeing clearly. Bottom line, we're just not seeing things as clearly as we could. So the good news with that is that when Mercury goes backwards and goes back to the Aquarian energy at 28 degrees, and she's moving forward, it is at that time where we're seeing more clearly, because Mercury went and retrieved the details, the data that was missing. And it is those bits of information that will help us to get the clarity we need when Mercury then enters Pisces. She can rejoin Pisces and say here, or he can rejoin Pisces and say here. This is what was missing. And then all of a sudden we have clarity. This is why during a Mercury retrograde, people typically say, don't make any decisions or sign anything important. When we talk about Mars being out of bounds, it's because Mars will be more apt to snap, to take actions quicker than before, to leap before looking. He'll be more spontaneous. He will be less patient. Okay, Mars will be more apt to take action without having all the information. So what we kind of want to understand is, where is Mars doing this? If you are a Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising, this is in your Sagittarian energy at 25 degrees, okay? And this is in your 10th house of career, okay? Now remember, follow the degrees, because what if your 25 degrees of Sag actually starts dipping into your 11th house? That's possible. The 11th house would be your friends and your social circles. It would also be internet. And boy, how easy is it for people to say stuff on the internet that they would never say face to face? So you just want to know, this is a place in your life where you're going to be more impulsive, okay? Where you're going to be more apt to act based on an immediate reaction that fires up inside of you. Somebody says something, right away you come right back real fast, right? So you just want to be careful. You don't want to burn bridges over something stupid that was said out of, just a lack of thought, a lack of clarity, which is what Mercury in Pisces retrograding is. We already have a lack in clarity. So because Mars is going to be out of bounds, you could very easily say something on the job, in your professional life, okay? Or it could be in your group atmosphere, your friends, your social circles, social media, okay? 11th house is astrology. So I'm trying to be very careful. I will try to be very careful during this time, right? And any advice, any recommendations, or any explications I give of energy, I'll be going over it even more than I normally do, unfortunately, because I go over shit like 1,000 times before I feel qualified to share it on this platform. So I have the dates February 17th to March 3rd. It is those times that the Mercury retrograde in Pisces and the Mars being very, very spontaneous and impulsive, assertive and aggressive, overlap. Okay? So again, if you are Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising, find out where 25 degrees of Sagittarius all the way until 10 degrees, Mars will be very assertive and very spontaneous, and he will leap before looking between those degrees from the dates of February 17th to March 3rd, okay? Now, the Mercury retrograde ends on March 9th, okay? Remember, Mercury's in your first house. The retrograde ends, and at that time, if there was a decision that had to be made, if there was something where Mars was like, but I want to do this, right? Because that's what's going to happen. When Mars transitions, being out of bounds, being extreme, right? Mars is going to go from being in Sagittarian energy, my forward thinking, what I want to do, how I want to aspire to be, long distance journeys and travels and like, let's go do this. Once he gets to Capricorn, it's taking action time. It's let's bring this into the material 3D tangible world. Okay, let's make this an actual thing. So Mars goes and says, I'm doing it. Please don't do it until after March 9th. Bottom line, end of story. I hope this has added clarity, and I apologize for the confusion. Pisces Ascendant, Pisces Rising. I'm out.